Good afternoon and welcome to From Where We Are, stories of news and culture through the lens of USC and Southern California. I'm David Sosa, coming to you live from Studio B in USC's Annenberg Media Center.
And I'm Lauren Worley. It's Tuesday, February 10th. On today's show, candidates in tonight's first USC presidential debate lay out their plans, ICE raids leave an impact on LA's county's economy, and rain comes closer to LA amid the East Coast's ongoing snowstorms. All that and more on
From Where We Are. But first, today's headlines.
Team USA is currently fourth in total medals at this year's Winter Olympics in Italy, with Norway leading the pack. The U.S. so far has 7 medals in total, including 2 gold. Breezy Johnson took home one of the gold medals in the women's downhill race, where teammate Lindsey Vonn crashed and had to be airlifted.
Cuba told international airlines it cannot supply jet fuel following a halt in oil supplies from the U.S. Air was the first affected by the fuel shortage and was forced to suspend flights. Other international carriers are also expected to face the impact of the shortage.
A former Palm Beach, Florida police chief claims that over a decade ago, President Trump confided in him and stated that, quote, everyone knew of Jeffrey Epstein's actions. This is according to a document recounting their conversation recently released by the U.S. Department of Justice. Epstein pleaded guilty to soliciting prostitution involving a minor in 2008.
A district judge blocked California from enforcing the new No Secret Police Act that would limit federal agents from wearing masks during deportation operations. At the same time, the judge turned down a request from the government to block a different law that requires local, state, and federal law enforcement to display their name or badge number on duty.
A new report from LA County found that the neighborhoods in the San Fernando Valley were targeted the most in recent ICE raids. Mission Hills, Panorama City, and North Hills were among the most affected. The report said they suffered economic damage due to federal immigration enforcement. Other areas on the list include Pico Rivera, Silver Lake, and Bell. We visited one of the zip codes later in the show.
Newly elected USC President Beong-Soo Kim addressed the greater USC community at today's State of the University speech. Kim's talk emphasized the current university's finances and the aftermath of last semester's layoffs. We'll have more on this later in the show. And those were some of today's headlines.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now.
Last week, President Beong-Soo Kim became USC's permanent president. Today, he gave his first public address at Bovard Auditorium. Nicholas Corral has the story.
When Kim gave his State of the University speech today, he organized it around these 5 ideas.
I pronounce it pickoff, trying to evoke the baseball player.
PICOF, standing for Partnership, Innovation, Collaboration, Operational Excellence, and Focus. Kim spoke for almost an hour at Bovard Auditorium before taking a few audience questions. He gave a similar speech at the Health Sciences campus yesterday. In his speech, Kim said the university will have a $30 million surplus in its budget at the end of the year. That's a change from the over $200 million deficit the university ended last year with. He also said that USC would bring back merit increases and remove some travel restrictions starting next fiscal year. In the fall, USC laid off 1,000 faculty and staff. He touted reevaluating long-standing rules, expanded alumni programs, and USC's new BT partnership, which some faculty have criticized. In an interview with campus media after the speech, Kim said the university had to balance AI cheating concerns with giving equal access to ChatGPT. USC launched a free premium program in January.
It's a serious issue, and when we were weighing the trade-offs between equity in preparing students against some of the risks that are posed from AI, we did err on the side of wanting to be inclusive.
Outside, Faculty for Justice in Palestine held a vigil. Tara McPherson is a professor in the cinema school who focuses on media censorship. She said this is the 3rd year the faculty group has protested outside of the president's speech. The group is not affiliated with the university.
We will deliver an alternative address, counter to the president's address, and that address will highlight several areas of complicity at USC with the violence in Gaza.
The protesters were dressed in academic robe and distributed pamphlets.
Academics are part of a larger project of public knowledge that is meant to help us draw connections between the histories of the world and our present, between the context for certain kinds of decisions.
In his speech, he said he appreciated the protesters.
That's great. We're a university. We should treasure open dialogue like that.
After the event, Kim said he values free speech, but draws a firm line with conduct.
To me, being very clear about those conduct rules is not being it does not run counter to freedom of expression. They absolutely can and should mutually coexist. But we have to, in my view, be very clear about what the rules of engagement are.
Kim first joined the university in 2020 as Senior Vice President and General Counsel. He is USC's 13th president. For Annenberg Media, I'm Nicholas Corral.
Immigration enforcement around the county has increased in scale and violence. Following the shooting deaths of two Minneapolis protesters by immigration officers, Angelinos band together recently in downtown LA to stand in solidarity. Lizzie Solorzano was there.
Dozens of protesters rallied the streets of Placito Olvera to march in solidarity with Minneapolis and denounce the aggressive tactics of immigration officials.
We are in solidarity with Minnesota today because we could be the next Renee Nicole Good.
This is Megan Ortiz, one of the speakers who took the stage to share her experience of the violence she faced.
I know I have faced assault weapons in the Home Depot parking lot.
Ortiz represents Instituto de Educación Popular del Sur de California, or IDEPSCA, and the grassroots campaign calling for the boycott of Home Depot.
What has been allowed to happen here in Los Angeles, in Minnesota, these corporations have been allowed to use their property as hunting ground for people. And we are not going to accept that.
Since the summer of last year, immigration officials have increased raids in Home Depot parking lots to detain day laborers informally seeking work opportunities. In these raids, their tactics have only grown more violent.
I think we imagined what would happen, as soon as the election happened, but it's different to imagine it and live it. I think the scale of the violence and the slow escalation of the violence definitely has been felt. Again, the use of assault weapons, people in full tactical gear, it really is an invasion.
The coalition calling to boycott Home Depot has several demands for the company to follow in order to seize the boycott. These include for Home Depot to speak out against ongoing raids, to close their parking lots to immigration officers, and to give reparations to families who've had relatives detained on their properties. The coalition also says that Home Depot made a promise to keep these spaces safe for day laborers, and that they want for the company to follow through.
So if they're attacking all of us, then it's our responsibility, all of us, to take care of one another. We're also calling for people to not spend their money at Home Depot for that same reason. And that's one way people can show solidarity across race, across status, across gender.
Ortiz believes that despite the fear that comes with unprecedented times, visibility and unity will continue to fuel the community's vigilance.
So it's moments like that when I can look and see my sisters, my brothers, my compañeros and compañeras together. I know we're going to be okay.
She says that people will look out for each other.
But I also know we have a strong community that's not going to let anything that happens to me be in vain, just like we're not letting all these kidnappings happen without us noticing, following up, finding people, and reuniting people.
And that was my report. Home Depot is one of the many companies that could be the target of an economic boycott.
I got one job, two job, three when I need them. I got 5 roommates in this one studio, but I never really see them.
As immigration raids have ramped up in Los Angeles this year, many local businesses have also taken a hit. A new report commissioned by the LA County Board of Supervisors finds that LA businesses suffered economically as a result of raids this summer. They were also affected by a curfew imposed after residents protested the raids. Val Vidal spoke with business owners who by now are all too familiar with how immigration enforcement is affecting their bottom line.
Huntington Park is known for its busy and loud streets, with Pacific Boulevard as its commercial centerpiece. But this same shopping boulevard that was once crowded finds itself looking deserted after ICE raids began picking up in the surrounding neighborhood. Guillermo, who didn't want his last name used for fear of being targeted, works at Café Factory Crepe. He says that the restaurant has been affected 100%.
Después de que empezaron con sus cosas de las redadas de migración, espantando a la gente,
He says that after ICE started the immigration raids, scaring people away and terrorizing customers, businesses were dead. When ICE comes here, it becomes a desert. There's no one, no sales, no people, nothing. While President Trump and his allies argue that undocumented immigrants hurt American communities, many people say that the stats show otherwise, and the ICE raids are only making things worse. Los Angeles County recently published a study titled Economic Impacts of the Federal Immigration Enforcement. It found that undocumented workers in LA County generate over $250 billion annually in economic output. In the report, about 4 out of 5 businesses surveyed say that they experience all kinds of negative effects, with many of them reporting that they lost more than half of their revenue. About 3/4 of businesses reported reduced foot traffic and a loss of regular customers. Many businesses also report that they are having a hard time staying open.
Entonces a veces tenemos que cerrar, a veces temprano. Ahora estamos cerrando 8 a las 4 cuando cerrábamos a las 9 de la noche.
Guillermo says Café Factory Crepe has had to reduce their hours because profits were not there. Victor Velázquez works at Los Tacos Cholos, another business in Huntington Park affected by ICE raids.
A lot of people is getting scared because all the ICE situation, the sales basically are going down. It's making it difficult for the business around.
Down the street at Luis Mi Couture, owner Luis Melendez says he has also seen his business slowing down, so he relies on social media to stay afloat.
Entonces lo único que nos toca es seguir, esperar que esto se detenga ya.
Melendez says we just have to keep going and hope the ICE raids stop soon. For Annenberg Media, Val Vidal.
I'm David Sosa. We're glad you're with us on From Where We Are.
And I'm Lauren Worley. It's 14 past the hour. Coming up, a new USG president and vice president will be voted in next week. But tonight, the candidates plead their case.
It's an exciting time for USC leadership. New USC President Beong-Soo Kim and the undergraduate student government, USG, electing its new president and vice president next week. Tonight, USG will hold its presidential debate. Recorder Michaela Eidelberg sat down with all 3 tickets to talk about their plans, if elected. Kaylee Eiber reports.
3 teams are running for USG president and vice president for the coming academic year. Ben Huang and Wynn Hammond are running together. Huang majors in international affairs and Hammond in human security and geospatial. They're both leaders in their ROTC program. Their campaign emphasizes strong leadership and discipline. They want to streamline the budgets of student organizations and expand meal plans. Ben and Wynn met through ROTC, and they believe their complementary skills and values make them effective partners, says Ben Huang.
Within ROTC, they're training us to manage a multi-million-dollar budget, multi-million-dollar pieces of equipment, and more importantly, lives.
One of their top concerns is the $200 transportation fee USC charges students.
And we had these hours, I think a few years back, it was from 5 p.m. to 4 a.m., something, really nice.
Then they chopped it to 6 p.m. to 2 a.m.
And now it's another $200 fee.
Yeah.
So that's a major concern because students want transportation, especially when it gets dark. It's just safety, peace of mind, and accessibility.
Also running are Sirabi Nur-Rahman and Diane Kim with majors in legal studies and philosophy, politics, respectively. They nicknamed their ticket Side Eye, and they run on a platform called Ask, Listen, Act. Kim says why she thinks they're a strong ticket.
I think that we have such a beautiful, diverse student body and student life here on campus. Sai and I think what makes us really unique is that we're involved in so many external organizations outside of USG. She's a part of the Neighborhood Academic Initiative, and I'm a part of Troy Camp, and we're very connected to South LA and understanding the community we want to serve.
Kim explains their slogan of Ask, Listen, and Act.
At the forefront of our platform, Ask, Listening, Acting, so many students are unaware of USG.
Yeah.
And we want to change that. We want to reach out directly to them and connect them to USG and the administration.
Political science major Jad Kalani and legal studies major Jeremiah Boyce-Ron are also running. They call themselves J&J. They use an acronym for their philosophy, LEAD or LEAD.
LEAD stands for listening first,
engaging broadly,
advocating transparently,
and delivering results.
When asked what qualifications the team brings, Kalani says this about his running mate Jeremiah Boyce-Ron.
He chose to go for VP because there genuinely is no one at USG right now who's as qualified as him. He's already the Speaker of the Senate and he's been a senator before. He knows the ins and outs of USG way better than anyone.
Tonight's debate will take place starting at 8 p.m. in the TC room. Voting begins February 17th and continues through the 22nd. The candidates urge you to get out there, make your voice heard, and vote. For Annenberg Media, I'm Kaylee Iber.
They say it never rains in Southern California, but this week the forecast is telling a different story. When a good chunk of the country has been in a deep freeze, why is it that a little water in LA breaks our brains? Stay dry and stay tuned because Sean Chabal has you covered.
After a few sunny weeks, February is bringing in the dreaded Los Angeles rain. While in many places in the country, this time of year brings weather far worse than rain, the LA community seems to struggle with just a little drizzle. With the National Weather Service predicting around an inch of rain over the next 24 hours, slick roads seem to be a common issue.
People just completely forget how to drive in all aspects on the freeway, on surface streets, and act like it's the end of the world.
That was Sean Godicke, a freshman studying communications at USC. Here on campus, students run into more issues when rain comes. Usually the campus is packed throughout the day with students enjoying their walks to and from class. But freshman TV production major Connor Wyckoff was very honest about their attendance today.
But people just don't go. I mean, I've skipped a lot during the rain, personally.
And because no one wants to be outside,
no one leaves their house ever for any reason. DoorDash makes a lot of money during the rain.
Instead of going out or even going to class, cinematic arts sophomore Raquel Hendricks offered this suggestion.
Maybe hang out with friends, game night, movie night, stuff like that.
So the consensus is clear. Roads are a mess, class is a no-go, and DoorDash is winning the day. So, if you're among these who see the rain as an excuse to stay in, order some food, find a good movie, and wait for the sun to come back out soon. For Annenberg Media, I'm Sean Spall.
And that's all we have time for on today's From Where We Are. Amy Contreras executive produced today's show. Val Vidal produced today's show. We also had help from Sean Spall, Sofia Contreras, Vanya Arakelian, Michael Spatanas, and Nick Corral.
Our audio director is Leslie Berenstein Rojas. Our board operator is Grayson Solomon. Our live stream manager is Kayla Shu. And Derek Renfro composed our theme music.
Catch us live on YouTube at Annenberg Radio News Monday through Thursday at 5 p.m. Subscribe to From Where We Are, wherever you're listening right now. Finally, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Annenberg Radio. I'm David Sosa.
And I'm Lauren Worley. From all of us at Annenberg Radio, wherever you are, we hope you'll join us again for
From Where We Are.
So, David, I've got a question for you.
What's up?
So, if you were to miraculously become USG president, what is the first thing you would initiate on campus?
Well, I remember last year there was, I think he was actually a candidate for the Senate, but he campaigned on a platform for bringing a Raising Cane's to the USC Village.
My gosh.
So I think I'd go with that as
what I would do with that cane
my one
sauce.
executive order.
Oh my goodness. I think that's a great idea, David. Thank you.
Awesome.